Internet! Hello and welcome to this week's Coy Cubed. I am happy you're with me today. Today is likely to be a bit of a shorter episode due to a just general lighter news week between this Tuesday and last, but I didn't want to miss you guys for a week, so I figured I'd join in to give you the news I did enjoy from this Tuesday to last Tuesday. Next is likely to be the craziest week of Coy Cubed, perhaps since we started. Since Coy Cube started, we haven't had any Comic-Cons, and we haven't had any theatrical movies for most of this run. The show kind of kicked off in January, and theaters were closed by March, so we haven't had movies in theaters, and it has affected the way the show is run. But one of the big stories today is that some movie theaters, even in LA, are open, and that the SnyderCut drops this Thursday, and Falcon and the Winter Soldier drops this Friday. So where this week is light on news, next week is going to be absolutely insane. So I'm really ready for things to turn around. I also do believe it will be safe adjacent to go to movies this summer. So I'm very much looking forward to seeing Black Widow in May. I think the vaccine will be in a different place by then with the way things are going. So fingers crossed for a lot more news on this front in the present tense instead of the, well, this got delayed again tense, which is what this show has largely been. So let's dive into this week's news. Again, slightly shorter show, but it is wonderful to be with you here, dear Koi Pond. All right, first bit of news today. Movie theaters in New York opened up about 2 weeks ago. Last week's show, on Tuesday of last week, I said that movie theaters might open as soon as Saturday, and that would have been this upcoming Saturday. They are open now. AMC Burbank 16 and AMC Century City, my two main AMCs, are open. They opened on Monday, yesterday. They opened. They had limited show times, and they also had, obviously 40% seating at max. But I didn't think they had the infrastructure. I'm really impressed that they went from like purple to red as far as California's coding, and then were able to retrain whomever and have popcorn and soda and stuff in stock. It took weeks for other movie theaters I know to get to that point, so it's really impressive that LA's two biggest theaters in the chain gang were able to do so much. The El Capitan is opening, I think, as soon as this week, which is right down the street from me. iPic, a place I used to work in Pasadena, is opening on March 31st. So even the, more fancy schmancy, highbrow, high dollar movie theaters is moving and grooving. iPic is a nice dinner and a movie, $25 a ticket. You get a reclining seat, a blanket, free popcorn situation, but then you get like a 5-star meal with it. So iPic is not a high volume game. So I'm really curious how they play out with their theater being open on March 31st. All that's right now. I didn't expect it to happen this fast. I wonder what that means for screenings. I wonder what that means for junkets. I wonder what that means for my entire job. My whole world stopped when the world stopped. So I'm very hopeful. I'm very excited. I'm going to be sending a lot of emails in the next coming weeks about what's going to be happening with press. And I'm hoping we can get some Coy Cubed exclusives. It'd be cool to do some stuff with you guys in this channel that's not anywhere else. So I'm very excited for life returning. I see the chat saying a lot of the world is coming back. And yes, I miss it, and I'm very excited. I also live near a lot of really cool shit that has been closed since I moved. I moved to my place that I'm currently living in July, June, something like that. Either way, nothing's been open, so I'm very excited for my little corner of the world to be a little bit bigger and a little bit more open. So yes, and as my mom said, time to get car shopping. I haven't had a car since September. Mine literally exploded. It didn't like blow up with me in it, but the engine blew up. The gasket exploded, and then my car smoked, and there was no repairing it, and it was an older car that had 200,000 miles on a Mini. So 214,000 miles on a Mini is a lot more than most people get out of their Minis ever, so I was very lucky with mine, but I didn't think it made sense to get a car and pay for parking and deal with insurance while my car wasn't going anywhere because I was staying home. So I haven't had a car in 6 months, so I will be looking for a car soon as well. You are correct, Mother. Yeah, we've got March 19th is the date for 23 other Southern California AMC locations opening. Once that rolls around, that's the lion's share of AMC's, and like I said, by the end of the month for specialty theaters. So it is happening, you guys, right now. I have yet to see Raya the Last Dragon. I might see that in theaters if it feels safe enough, and that'll be really exciting for me. I really want to get back to the cinema, so fingers crossed. Also this week, the Grammys happened. The Grammys felt like the future that 80s movies warned us about. It was a very strange telecast. It was a lot of odd performances. I'm not that old, and I felt very old and disconnected. Harry Styles was probably my favorite performance from the ones I saw. I like Cardi B, but I don't know about that take. I mean, that's her music and her style. I just some musicians I like more live than others, so I wasn't as vibing as much with the great Cardi B in that setting. It was a strange night for music, and it was the lowest ever recorded ratings, not surprising. It's just weird to do award shows in that way right now, and we will see. Jason Ritchie in the chat. Because of multiple medical issues, I was able to qualify and get my vaccine. Just returned to a theater last week. It was awesome being there. Dude, I'm so happy for you. Congratulations. Jason Ritchie is excellent people. Well-deserved return to the movie theater. I'm stoked for you, good sir. Let's get the world back. I am amped for science to get us back. The Oscars also had their nominations this week. The Oscars are much more my cup of tea than the Grammys. I'm very excited for this year's Oscars in April, which I think might be part remote, part in-person. I think we might have some more progress towards the in-person Oscars that are rumored to be moving and grooving. So instead of reading you the nominations, I think you can read that or have probably already read that anywhere on the internet. I will give you my take on the certain things that called out to me. One, where is Delroy Lindo's nomination? Delroy Lindo is my performance of the year, much less nomination. Delroy Lindo is the like, I love Defy Bloods, and Delroy stole a movie I love. That is saying a lot. It was such an incredible performance. I'm really bummed. I really think that was a short-sighted decision. I'm bummed for Delroy Lindo. I am excited for Soul getting Best Animated, but I really thought it deserved more. I would have loved to see Soul get a Best Picture nom. I guess I'm in the minority for those that loved Soul. I know a lot of people liked Soul, but I fucking loved Soul. It was my favorite movie of last year, and it, I think, needs more acclaim, and I really thought an Oscar would have helped bring eyes to it. So I was kind of hoping for that, but, you know, such is life. Both Lakeith Stanfield and Daniel Kaluuya getting supporting noms. Not one lead, one supporting. Both getting supporting noms is interesting to me because I'm a little afraid it's going to split the vote. I haven't really talked about it on this channel much, but I loved Judas and the Black Messiah. I thought it was terrifyingly topical. I thought it was a very taut, tense thriller, a great time at the movies, in this case, my living room. But it was riveting performances that drove that whole film. It's so heavily exposition and story-based through dialogue. It's not like an action movie. It's just performances. And both of them are incredible in this. I'm just surprised they're both going for the supporting. Supporting tends to be a little bit more glamorous of a nom. If you're outside of the industry, it's interesting how much Best Actor sounds like the thing, but supporting roles are usually the juice, man, because you're actually moving the movie along. You're you know, the lead has to carry the movie's like storyline. You get to do all the fun acting, you know, a lot of times. So I'm really curious between these two who's going to get supporting, if not, you know, one of the other nominees. But those are the two that I'm pulling for sure. What up, Albo in Scotland? I've got to visit your country. I've always wanted to go to Scotland, and now that we can travel again soon, I will. And I want to badly. I've done Southern Ireland. I've done east to west, did the entire south. I've not done Northern Ireland, which is actually where my family is from. And I've also not been to Scotland, but I very, very much want to. So on the docket, good sir. I think I saw a pop-in from Joel Rolston. Was that from this week or was that from last week? I think that was from last week. I take it back. I take it all back. Diving into the next bit of news with the Oscars, I'm a little bummed about Palm Springs not getting a nomination. Palm Springs, I felt, was much more than just a comedy. I thought it was geniusly written. I thought it was well executed. I thought the acting was great. I wanted at least some screenplay love. I don't know. In a limited year of films, I really hoped that things like Palm Springs and genre content would kind of break the mold in less crowded fare, but still, no love for Palm Springs, which is a bummer. I don't know what The Father is, and this is the first time in the last 3 years since I've been very heavily covering film that I don't know a movie at all. I don't know that this was advertised. I don't know that this was. I've never heard of this movie, and it got 6 nominations. So I guess it's kind of like what I was saying with Soul, how now I'm more drawn to see something because of the impact of the Oscars. But it is weird that 6 nominations for a movie I hadn't heard of. Anthony Hopkins is apparently in it. That's exciting. I will be seeing it. I just felt very like, a movie I've never heard of. 6 nominations? I'm very excited for Paul Raci. Sound of Metal is a genius film, and his performance is staggering. Paul Raci in that film is incredible. Well-deserved nomination. And for Riz Ahmed, Riz Ahmed is... I've always thought he was a powerhouse, but this performance was like, oh, look, put him in everything. This performance is one for the ages. So if you haven't seen Sound of Metal yet, 2 reasons to see it. Those 2 right there. A ton of other reasons as well, but the Oscars hopefully bring some love to the Sound of Metal. Mank got 10 noms. I expected Mank to get some noms. I did not expect 10. I'm very excited for Fincher. I'm very excited for Best Picture. I don't know if I would have put it for Best Picture, but I'm not the Academy. They love that kind of movie. They love Hollywood reflecting on Hollywood. They love that kind of pedigree. I get why it's got 10 noms. It just surprised me at the actual amount. So, yeah, pure crazy. We've also got Judas the Black Messiah getting a bunch, Mank getting a bunch, Trials of Chicago 7 getting a bunch. All those films I quite enjoyed. I don't think I get Nomadland. I don't think I understand it. I have a lot of friends that live that lifestyle. I guess that makes, like, because of being a burner, I'm more acclimated to that world. I was shocked that so many people loved it. It was a perfectly fine film. Frances McDormand is perfectly great in the role, but it didn't feel like that to me. I found myself a bit bored, to be honest with you. So Nomadland is one of my, like, okay, I think I just didn't get it, and it wasn't for me, and that's okay. It's art, and I'm happy it exists, and I'm happy people got more out of the art than I did. I need to see Promising Young Woman. I'm hoping for Fincher because I love him as a director and as a person. I'm hoping for Chadwick because that performance in Ma Rainey's Last Bottom is something else. It's hard because Riz Ahmed's also incredible, but Chadwick Boseman leaving us with that performance, I really hope it's him. And Seyfried, I'm pulling for Amanda Seyfried in Mank as well, because Amanda Seyfried has been a boss, and now it's high time she's an Oscar-winning boss, and that could be happening very, very soon. So those are my particular takes on the Oscars. You can find the list anywhere on the internet. I didn't think reading it was very exciting, so those are just what I experienced from it. The Snyder Cut is getting great first look reviews is the next bit of thing I want to talk about. Not going to dive too deep in. I'm not going to read you other people's reviews, but it's got 75% Rotten Tomatoes. That is high for that universe. I think the original cut was sitting at like 40%. It's also not out to wider press yet, so it could drop, as does tend to happen with superhero fare. But 75% right now is high. I've not seen it. I am watching it Thursday. I'm worried about my opinion being attacked no matter what I think of it. If I like it but don't love it, people will be mad at me. If I love it, then people will think I just love everything. I'm not a fan of the Justice League, and I'm not really a fan of BVS. So I'm very hopeful. I thought Man of Steel was great. I'm very hopeful because I want to love this. 1, because I always want more comic book movies to do well. 2, I want the quality of comic book movies to rising tide lifts all boats. And 3, Snyder Cut fans are the angriest people on the planet. So I really hope that I don't have to deal with them. So I'm very hopeful for this weekend. I'm very hopeful that both Snyder Cut and Falcon Winter Soldier are exceptional, because that'd be great if both DC and Marvel have a great weekend. I would be overjoyed because there should be no feud. There's not Bloods and Crips. It's production companies. They're incredible comic book publishers. So I really hope both the Snyder Cut and Falcon Winter Soldier are great. 77% says Ian in the chat. The Rotten Tomatoes score rises. I'm very hopeful. I hope I get a positive tomato out of it. I hope that I don't think it's rotten. I want to be part of the good 77% of this. What I've read is fairly mixed. The positive reviews feel, like they had a good time with it. It's an improvement over the Justice League. The negative reviews are saying, it's the same type stuff. I am going to try not to compare it to the Justice League because that's a separate experience. I want to compare it to movies. I'm going to compare the Snyder Cut to comic book films. I'm going to compare it to action. I'm going to compare it to thrillers. I'm going to compare it to cinema itself. I'm super excited for a giant orchestral, operatic 4-hour scope of pure madness. This movie looks fucking huge. I want to strap in for that. I'm going to watch it all at once. I'm not going to pace it out. I'm planning on like making a really fancy dinner and getting a fucking drink and just diving in and having a good time. So I'm going to like make a fucking meal out of it, pun intended. But I am warning all of you. I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be as open as I can be. I'm going to mute the fuck out of people. I'm going to let you know what I actually thought. So that way you don't feel like I love everything or I hate everything. I want to have the integrity of not being aware of the people that watch me and their takes. So I'm going to be honest next week. Tuesday, legit spoiler-full review next Tuesday. On Friday, remember the WandaVision coverage I was doing? Friday, I'm going to do a non-spoiler review on my Instagram. IGTV, I'll be doing a full non-spoiler review and then a full non-spoiler review of Falcon Winter Soldier, like first thoughts, impressions. It might be some light spoilers so I can give some opinions. But AJ, you're going to be using the fuck out of that wrench next week. AJ, I need you here next week. 5:05, strap in, it's going down. Because fuck, it's going to be messy. I'm even going to hashtag it, and I'm going to let people know on the internet we're going to be doing the review. And it's going to be fucking serious. That said, non-spoiler Friday on IGTV if you want my first impression thoughts. And then I'll be also doing Falcon Winter Soldier. So I'm likely going to do 20 minutes on Snyder, 20 minutes on Falcon Winter Soldier, 10 minutes, questions, that sort of thing for the episode. So tune in Friday. Follow me on Instagram. It's my name if you don't already. And then on Tuesday, we'll be right back here for a full spoiler review with fucking honesty. Toxic fandom be damned. And I'm very excited it's got 77%. I want to love it. I hope I love it. We'll see what happens. All right, and then a quick little brief rundown of quick news. Like I said, not a lot of news this week. The Gray Man has started filming one of my most anticipated movies in the foreseeable future. It's the Russo brothers directing Ryan Gosling, and that is something that I'm all fucking for. A spy movie with Ryan Gosling directed by the Russo brothers. The whole cast is crazy, really, but I love what Ryan Gosling has done with action comedies. I love what he does with taut thrillers. I really think this is going to be the Netflix movie to make them a more credible production house. They're already doing way better. They're already really slaying the we're going to make the movies that no one else will make genre. With especially action. They throw a lot of money at shit. This, I think, will be the movie to separate them from other streaming services, potentially. Chris Evans, Ryan Gosling, Russo brothers. I'm so excited. They've started filming, which I'm just amped. Sonic 2 also started filming. I am all about the first Sonic movie. I'm hoping the second one's as good as the first one. I had a great time with that first Sonic movie, so sign me up for Sonic 2 goodness. It is also filming as we speak. Weird bit of news, Amazon is adding a shuffle function. Amazon is going to let you shuffle TV shows. If you've ever wanted to not pick what TV show you watch because you're scatterbrained and you're overwhelmed, boom, hit the shuffle button. As a person who values artistic integrity, I've always been bothered by the speeding up and slowing down functions and those things. I think podcasts and movies are different, so I don't mind people listening to podcasts at 1.5 speed, but something about the amount of man hours and the amount of heart and blood and soul that goes into movies, I think watching it in fast forward is fucking weird. This feels like the only step towards that I am not bothered by, because if you watch everything and you're just indecisive, go nuts, I guess. It's weird. I would never use it. It's not for me, but who's to say it's not for you, dear viewer? Use a TV shuffle button, I guess, if that's your cup of tea. I think it's strange, but I hope you're happier for it. Amazon TV shuffle, go fucking crazy. Next up, Snatch. Speaking of artistic integrity, Snatch is coming to 4K Blu-ray. Huge Guy Ritchie fan. As you all know, if you watch this, it is one of my favorite films from one of my favorite directors. Snatch is a masterpiece of crime cinema. It is coming out with a new audio commentary track. I think some deleted scenes we've already seen, maybe some new ones. All remastered 4K, all supervised by Guy Ritchie. I am so overjoyed to dive into Snatch with brand new eyeballs. That drops very, very soon. Also, at the current rate I'm going, I'm watching about 25 movies a month. So that puts you at like August. If I stay on track, I'll probably get to it in the early fall. So I'm excited to watch it. I just haven't had the chance. Are you talking about Chris Brewster? Chris Brewster is a buddy of mine, and he is Captain America's stunt double. So Chris Brewster, I'm going to look that up. Hold the pass, because that would make me very excited. That said, Chris has stunt doubled Daredevil as well. I know Chris Evans has had multiple stunt people. So let me see if someone else is the person you're talking about. But that's very exciting. Hold the pass, stunt. Sorry to everyone else watching while I shamelessly Google, because I got to know what the deal is with this. Budget. I don't want to know the budget. I want to know the crew. Give me the crew. Hold the pass. I'm very excited for this movie. It looks like madness, like glorious madness. Where are you, crew? There you are. You know what? You probably already said in the chat whether or not it was Chris Brewster, but here I am looking online anyway and just causing dead air on my channel and being the absolute worst host because I'm not finding it. You know what? Stunts. Nope, I do not see my boy. Okay, now we know. Stunt coordinator Adrian Hine. I do not know that stunt coordinator, but I will look up their other work because I, as you know, am a huge fan of stunts getting more notice and more credit, and that starts with you, yourself, aka me. But I will be checking out this movie, hopefully before August, to be honest. All right, next bit of news and information coming at you. Oh, we got another super chat before I get into comic book stuff. It is the same super chat from Joel Rolston. So Joel, if you have anything else to say in the chat, I'm going to try to catch it. Sonic is on Hulu, Jesus, and I am amped. Me at 1.25 speed or 1.5 speed is pure Red Bull. And yes. No, you, Joel, you weren't wrong. Cap has multiple stunt guys, so my buddy just happened to be the Winter Soldier Cap as well as the Daredevil stunt double. So he was the guy that did the hallway fight, and he was also my stunt double for Star Trek back in the day. So Chris Brewster is a friend and one of the most talented stunt people I've ever encountered. So Adrian is Civil War. So my buddy would have been Winter Soldier. He would have gone to Civil War. So that is the difference. We are both correct, and that is the best way to live. All right, let me see. Batman has wrapped. Schmodown thoughts, very briefly. If you're up on the Schmodown, things have not gone my way so far, but there is 2 giant matches on Friday. We've got Andrew DiMolanta versus the current champion, Alex Damon. Won't be a champion for long because DiMolanta's taking him out on Friday. And the co-main event, that is William the Beast Bibiani taking on Paul Oyama. So, 2 giant matches for the Mercs. That is going to turn our season around. We are in a bad spot right now, but we won't be on Friday night. After Friday, boom, new season, very exciting shit. I'm thrilled. Also think we're announcing the Kevin Smith match soon. I cannot wait because it's a match that I'm very excited for. I have been working on promo stuff for it, and soon you will know who Kevin Smith is taking on in the Schmodown very, very shortly. That is all the stuff I can reveal because we've started scheming into late April, and all of that stuff will not be announced for a bit. So, pay attention. Cool shit's coming. A lot of fun. I'm really excited. Mark Bernardin, fun fact, I actually talked to Mark last year about joining the Mercs last year, but Mark very kindly sent me a lovely, very articulate, well-written email letting me know he couldn't, but he was honored that I wanted him to be a Merc, and I was just like, Mark, you scallywag. I love Mark Bernardin. What a great guy. But yeah, Mark does not have the time, but that would be very fun. Perhaps a exhibition match in 2022 or 2023 when the world reopens. Maybe I can curate a thing. But Mark is the absolute best, and I'd love to see him compete with the Smith himself. All right. Comic book Rex, and then we're going to close this episode out. Maybe we'll keep it under half an hour today. Instead of our usual fighting the hour, maybe we'll keep it under half an hour, because I've actually got a train. I've got a mock match with a certain mercenary. I can tell you. We're doing a mock match today with Friday's match. So one of my 2 Mercs that plays on Friday, I've got to join at 5:45. So it will be perfectly timed wrapping this up, and I'm very excited. Last week's favorite comics for the week of the 10th. I quite enjoyed. Oh no, I have the comics from the week prior. I can't give you comic book recommendations. I'm a monster. It's the wrong week. Shit. I'll give you my favorite one. My favorite comic from last week. Non-Stop Spider-Man is genius. Non-Stop Spider-Man is from Joe Kelly and from Chris Picciello, 2 of my favorite creators. Joe Kelly is one of the best writers in comic books. Chris Pichello is one of the best artists, and he's so frenetic, he's so kinetic, he's got so much energy in his work. So when these two guys combine, this comic reads in like 5 minutes, and then you immediately read it back over. Joe said he was inspired by Speed and wanted to feel like a 90s action thriller, and it does. It feels like Speed with Spider-Man, like the Speed movie, Keanu Reeves, Sandra Bullock. It is so good. It is so high intensity. I love this series. It is only on issue number 1. It is a brand new run. You don't have to have ever read a comic before in your life. Nonstop Spider-Man number 1 was quite exceptional. You know what? I can actually give you my favorite ones by going into... I'm going to sign into my own Patreon because I just posted... my favorite books from last week on Patreon. So I'm going to read you my Patreon top list, which is also a shameless plug to my Patreon, where you can see all of the comics I enjoyed, not just my top pulls. I rate every single comic whether I enjoyed it or not. So that is an option over at the Patreon. Let me read you my favorite 9 comics from last week. The week of the 10th of March. The comics I enjoyed the absolute very most were Batman Urban Legends, which is a new anthology book over from Batman. Again, you don't have to have read any other comic books. Anthology books are really great access points to characters you know and love. Chip Zdarsky's Daredevil coming in at 28 issues of glory. Issue 28 blew me away. I love this new take on Daredevil. I love everything happening to Matt Murdock and the current Daredevil. They're currently separate people. Very good book. Love Chip Zdarsky. Deadpool Nerdy 30. Deadpool does not have a current ongoing title right now, so this is a nice little taste of Deadpool. I've missed him. This is a giant compilation book featuring a lot of his greatest writers and artists teaming up, so you can read a greatest hits Deadpool all brand new for his birthday. His Nerdy 30, Deadpool is 30 years old, which makes me feel very old. That is another pull from last week. The Joker number 1, the continued insanity post-Joker war. Lots of interesting stuff going on with the Joker character and Commissioner Gordon in this miniseries. Highly recommend the Joker number 1. Then my number 1 book of the week, Nonstop Spider-Man number 1. Seriously, trust me, pick it up. Rorschach number 6. Rorschach is from Tom King, and it has been, like every Tom King book, an up and down roller coaster reading it monthly because he writes for trades. I love reading his stuff monthly because I like the suspense. But sometimes I'm like, man, 3 didn't grab me as much as 2 and 4 and those things, but it's written long form. 6 was my favorite isolated issue to date. 6 is an A+ issue. 6 is just such good storytelling. Highly recommend you check out Rorschach. 1 through 6, all incredible, but 6 really blew me away. Sensational Wonder Woman number 10. This is a digital-only book, and it's an all-ages book. So if you're a kid or if you've got a kid and you want to read some new stuff, highly recommend you check out Sensational Wonder Woman number 10 if you want an easy access point and you want something leaning a little younger. Great book. Strange Academy is imagine if Doctor Strange and Magic with a K were running Xavier's School for Gifted Mutants, but instead they were gifted magicians. This is a magic-themed Xavier School. This is about, Scarlet Witch is a teacher there. It's about Dormammu's kid. It's about the magic side of Marvel. Strange Academy is drawn by Harold Ramos, who is an just stunning artist. And this book really sings and just shows his power. And then finally, my last pull of the week is Space Bastards number 3, Derek Robertson of The Boys fame, doing the work on pencils. This book is about a post office in the near future that's intergalactic, that is full contact mercenary postal service. So if you want to get something across the universe, you hire a merc post officeman to deliver that shit, and it's insane, it's bloody, it's R-rated, it's messy. It is a fantastic book. It is called Space Bastards. So, Space Bastards, Strange Academy, Sensational Wonder Woman, Rorschach, Nonstop Spider-Man, The Joker, Deadpool, Nerdy 30, Daredevil, and Batman Urban Legends are my pulls for you, dear viewer. Had to pull up the Patreon to make sure I had that all there, and for that, I do apologize. I wrote down the wrong thing for this week. That, I believe, fair viewers, is going to be it. A short week of Koi Cube this week. Not a lot of news, but next week, SnyderCut, Falcon Winter Soldier, more comic recs, a lot of streaming recs likely because it's approaching the end of the month, as well as Schmodown conversation because this Friday's matches would have happened, and who knows what else might break within the week, and the movie theaters will be that much closer to opening. So I think that is going to do it. Yeah, great for syndication. Cut the check. We got commercials. We got to make it move. Ian, good joke. I respect you. Jesus, that is why you haven't gotten any new Deadpool. There is no ongoing Deadpool right now, but that Nerdy 30 I do highly recommend. Joel, your dad and you should read Space Bastards together. You guys will dig it. This has been the quickest episode to date and full of love. Thank you, live chat. E. Walter, your taste in comics is always impeccable, or it's just shamelessly like mine, but I always enjoy what you what you recommend and say you enjoy. We have very similar tastes, so thank you for being here as always. And I saw Michael McCarcel was in here earlier, and he is fantastic. MK Songbird as well, Ian Roth, AJ Lancaster, my mom, Jason Ritchie, some of my faves. Koi Pond, the only community where we just added a moderator a year in, and it was only needed twice so far. You know when it's going to be needed? Next fucking week. AJ, John Getz, strap the fuck in. We're watching the Snyder Cut. Love you guys. I'll see you next week. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. McDonald's stuck in my head because I'm trying to eat healthy. Subconscious marketing. It's working. Fuck. Well, that's how I'm going to end the show. That's weird. Yep.